Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life with Sterling Fox on AM 650.
Welcome back to the program. We're talking hearing today with audiologist Dr. Ted Venom from NextGen Hearing and Mainland Hearing. NextGen is mostly focused on Vancouver Island and upcountry, and Mainland Hearing, Dr. Ted, of course, is here in the Lower Mainland.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. You spend a fair bit of your time, you travel a lot, you speak to groups. You were talking about the presentation you made for the gas company at Fortis, BC a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But you've also set aside some of your time every year to speak to children.
Yep.
Your favorite age group, for some reason, is grade 6. Why grade 6?
Well, I used to work at the Canadian Hearing Society in Toronto, and they have what's called the Canadian Hearing Foundation.
All right.
And those people recruited audiologists and hearing instrument practitioners to go and talk to grade 6. And the reason why grade 6 is because they're young, they're old enough to have exposure to iPads and iPods, and they think they're to get into what they think is cool.
Right, sure.
And yet they're young enough to be impressionable.
Okay.
They haven't hardened or turned crusty yet. Okay? They haven't turned into
Still working on that attitude.
That's coming.
Right.
But right there, you got them in the sweet spot.
Okay.
So you'd go to the schools and you'd arrange with the principal or the teacher to get all sections of grade 6 together in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd arrange a date to do this, and I'd take about an hour. And I'd walk in and you show a video, a little PowerPoint presentation about the ear, and then show them this video that was prepared by the Canadian Hearing Foundation. And it was sort of a cartoon-like thing, and it would show loud sounds in a speaker and hair cells in the inner ear being smashed or damaged with noise and how it was permanent. And you'd have this little guy on a skateboard whizzing down your ear canal through the ear, through the middle ear. It's kind of neat. And then at the end of it, I would say to someone, hey, does someone here be a volunteer? Take your iPad or iPod and crank it up to where you like it. Just turn it up to good, the way you like it, good and loud, the way you do. And then I take a sound level meter, which measures intensity of sound in decibels, and I'll hold it up to the earbud or that kid's headphone.
Okay.
And lo and behold, the sound coming out of there is well over 100 dB.
Okay.
So that is sufficient because the crossover is 85. So if you're listening to that, if you can hear someone's headphones and you're not listening to the headphone, okay, like you're sitting on the SkyTrain and you can hear someone's headphone, that sounds well over 100 dB.
Well, and this is very common. And for those of us who use SkyTrain, you sit down and you can even, if the kid's sitting across from you, you can hear the noise. And this is with people talking, the train's doors opening and closing, and that voice is you're now at such and such a station, and you can still hear the kid with the music leaking out of the earbud. That kid's doing some damage.
You know it. I mean, it's like when I was a kid, it was Sony Walkmans, and you cranked that up and the sound sucked. I mean, so of course you turned it down because it sounded bad.
Right.
Well, we've overcome that problem now. We deliver with faithful fidelity 120 dB, no problem.
Right.
Now, in Europe, they have made a law saying that the output sound pressure level can't be over X, Y, and Z. I can't remember what it is anymore.
Okay.
So there is some cognizance that way. So industrial noise, I think we're addressing.
Yes.
But what we need to really address is the youth.
Right.
Because, and that's why those grade 6 presentations, you demonstrate that, and it's like, eee. And then you finish saying, hey, we don't stare at the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your ears, because that is not coming back.
Right.
So all these guys driving in these cars with a hibba-bibba-hibba, hibba-bibba, bromp, bromp, bromp,
the subwoofer. If you live down by Kitts Beach or Ambleside or White Rock on those beach strips on a hot day, all the cars, the cruisers, the muscle cars with the subwoofers, boom, boom. Mm-hmm. They're all there. They spend the whole day blowing their hearing out the trunk.
Yes. They will be clients.
Wow. Now, what about flip the coin for us? Because you're talking about children and potential hearing loss stemming from a very early age. So now here we are on Boomer Life talking to the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, the moms and dads who give these little devils their iPods and other electronic play toys. So what can we do when we we give off one of these things, what sort of advice should, not that they're going to listen to every word we say,
No.
but at least we have to go through the formality of saying, it's a great toy, enjoy it, but for goodness sake,
be careful.
Be careful.
It's just like anything. Cognition, being warned, all you can do is be aware of the damage. You know it's going to cause, like baby toys. Some toys released by Mattel and these little kids' toys. There's even an issue about the loudness of some babies' rattles and things that are going on that are laying on the pillow beside the baby. I mean, when you look at the distance, it's like a couple of inches away, a few centimeters away from the ear, because noise dissipates in intensity with distance. Okay, as you double the distance, you get softer and softer. So something called the inverse square law. So, but if you've got a noise source like right up at the ear, it's going to be like the sound of my voice at 1 meter from you is whatever, but if the sound, if I'm 2 meters away from you, it's quieter. Okay, so it's awareness.
Right.
It's just education. The public needs to be educated. You can't force anybody, but teach, educate, so people walk out with the information. An ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure.
All right, now we're on a tremendous roll here on the education component here. So let's carry forward into the workplace. And everywhere we go now, you can buy them at a corner store. You get these little spongy earplugs.
And they're not bad.
Are they? That was my first question. Are they okay in terms of cutting down sound and saving yourself?
You got to put them in right.
Okay.
You have to squeeze them, roll them into a tiny little cylinder, and then pull your ear up and back to straighten out your ear canal. So with one arm, grab your ear, and just pull it up and back so you straight, and jam that thing in and let it expand inside of your ear.
Okay, so you twist it and make it small, and then it'll puff back up.
Yes, improperly inserted plugs are not going to do much good.
Right.
It's just like a hearing aid isn't going to do any good if it sits in a drawer.
Right.
So you've got to put it in. You have to put them in right. They'll knock out about 30 decibels if put in right.
Interesting.
But they're a bit of a hassle. You know, because you get these greasy things and you're putting them in, taking them out. And it's easier if you get custom earplugs made.
Okay.
You can you go to any hearing aid outlet, a retail outlet. Next Gen and Mainland does it all the time. I used to do it all the time. You fill the ear up with goop, you get an impression. You never get a second chance to take that first impression. And you get that impression, you let it harden, you send it into a company and that makes these things, and they come back, and the person can order whatever colors they want or whatever. But then they're custom made.
I was just going to say, so you're doing with your hearing plugs what you would do with dentures.
Yeah,
you're getting custom
That's
fit
right.
products
That's
that are exactly designed to work best for you.
For your ear.
Now, is that expensive?
I don't know, about $100 for a pair.
That's not bad.
For a pair, they're custom made with a cord that loops, little carrying case.
Because otherwise they're either yellow or blue, and you have these little yellow or blue things sticking out of your ear. You're not the coolest looking human being in the world.
Well, these things too, they're called ear defenders. I mean, you can see them. I usually make the right one red and the left one blue, because in audio, red is right and blue is left.
Okay.
That way the person can tell which one goes for which ear. But those are good custom earplugs. Another type, like regular headphone, like I'm wearing now talking to you on the radio, the things that are ear muffs, those are good too, because one size fits all. You just throw the darn thing.
And you see guys working chainsaws and stuff. They'll wear those ear muffs.
Those are good.
Okay.
They knock out at least 30 decibels to 50, which is good. And then, but the most sophisticated earplug is called a musician's earplug. And that blocks out noise. It's custom made too, but it has little filters put in. And it blocks out noise, but it preserves the shape of your ear canal resonance.
Oh, okay.
And so you're able to hear people speaking while still protecting your ear against noise. So those are the cat's meow. I mean, those are the best ones.
Right.
They don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But it depends on what you're doing. If you're working alone and you're with a lot of noise, who cares? You wouldn't want one of those.
Right.
But if you're working and you need to be able to hear people speaking, so people in bands, people playing music, they need to communicate with other people while they're playing, and yet they're trying to protect their ears. Musicians' earplugs.
Okay.
So those are the most expensive ones. They cost about $30,000. No, I'm just teasing. They cost about $200 a pair.
Oh, okay. All right.
Those are good.
So, but the whole point of the conversation, and you're quite right. I agree with you completely that as a population, we could use a whole lot more education on the matter of hearing.
It is. Yeah,
it's just true. We're underinformed, and we're, I think, in many cases, misled by pretty vintage stereotypical attitudes.
We are, yeah. Yeah, it's time to catch up, Educate, dance with the music.
Right. Well, if the hearing technology, if the hearing industry has literally advanced itself in quantum leaps in the past few years, then maybe we deserve to kind of catch up to it if we're going to benefit from it.
Well, that's why I like doing radio shows like this. That's what we're doing.
Right. Well, and
it's great.
In terms of convincing someone, this is we only got a couple of seconds left here, and this is the real knock. You said earlier that it's likely that someone who has an identified hearing loss is not going to do something about that by way of a hearing aid or something to help out for up to 7 years.
I know, and it's just silly because you've got nothing to lose by trying. NextGen and Mainland aren't the only ones, but almost 21-day trial without putting a nickel down. You can walk out with a pair of fitted hearing aids, buy an audiologist or hearing instrument practitioner. Then you get an additional 69 days. So you get a 90-day, 3-month trial period.
Right.
So you could, at the end of 3 months, if you decided this wasn't for you, you'd get every nickel back. I can't say pennies anymore.
No,
okay.
We don't
but
have any.
You have nothing to lose.
Right.
The days of, oh my God, I'm going to get taken to the cleaners and I'm going to have buyer's remorse and that's not true. You have nothing to lose by trying. Get a hearing test. Find out what your hearing levels are.
Right.
Get the facts, Jack, and then check it out.
Right. And of course, the best part about all of that last statement is the hearing test is absolutely free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's and again, it makes you wonder why more people don't take advantage of a freebie for crying out loud.
It's a freebie for crying out loud. I'll reiterate that.
And once a year, or certainly once every 2 years, would be the minimum period that you would encourage testing on a regular basis.
Just like you would with your eyes. You get an annual hearing check just to find out, is your hearing, is it changing or is it staying, is it maintaining? Where are you at? You may find out you're not going to benefit from hearing aids because you don't have enough hearing loss.
Sure.
Then again, you might have a mild hearing loss and you might get a lot of benefit from weak hearing aids.
Lots of great information on both the websites, friends. It's NextGen, NEXGEN Hearing.com or MainlandHearing.com. Dr. Ted Venema, always a pleasure to have you on Boomer Life, sir.
It's been a slice.
Looking forward to our next program already.
Me too.
And we'll see you next time right here on AM 650.